Welcome back to another episode of Trading Secrets. Today, the Trading Secrets podcast is celebrating our 100th episode, and who better to have as our guest for this milestone episode than someone who is not only a massive entrepreneurial success, but also someone who is one of my most important favorite people in the world, Kaitlyn Dawn Bristowe. Many of you know Kaitlyn dating back to 2015, where she gained recognition as a contestant on season 19 of The Bachelor. That same year, she was elected, literally elected, to the 11th Bachelorette. She had one of the more unique scenarios, being the first season with 2 Bachelorettes to kick off a season, which we'll get into. Since then, she has gone on to launch her mega successful podcast, Off the Vine, with over 140 million downloads. She is the co-host of multiple seasons of The Bachelorette. She won season 29 of Dancing with the Stars, and all while doing that, she has run multiple successful businesses, Spade Sparrows, Duet, and many more. It is not hard to recognize that Kaitlyn has shown what it takes to have the entrepreneurial success in today's world. We're going to dive deep into where her love for being an entrepreneur comes from, how her rise to fame has affected her from a professional standpoint, good and bad, and how she manages a fast-paced, constantly changing schedule. Kaitlyn Dawn Bristowe, thank you so much for being on Trading Secrets today.
I'm wet.
That's all it took, huh?
That's all. I was like, keep going.
Wow. Damn. We'll take it. Well, not only
Am I allowed to say that on this podcast?
You can say anything you want on this podcast. Anything goes. That was the first ever, thankfully, never heard a reaction like that to an intro. And the first ever, unlike any other episode, is we are starting with a game. We have the Curious Canadian here. He's going to kick us off. I too am a Curious Canadian. With a game. Would you consider yourself a Curious Canadian?
Yeah.
Okay. I could think of some other things, but we'll go with Curious Canadian.
Well, yeah, I'm curious. I'm many other things, but I am always curious, but that kills cats. So.
All right. Well, we have 2 Curious Canadians here. David, welcome to the show from the get-go. What are we starting off with?
Well, first off, 100th episode, couldn't think of a better guest. Nice. Always when KB and I get together, it feels like we get to kind of gang up on you with our Canadianism. So, but we have a game today. It's going to be ATM Ask the Mafia. So Jason, you put up on your social yesterday some questions to ask KB. So we have some questions from the audience. We have some questions from the Curious Canadian and the Trading Secrets team. So KB, this is going to be kind of career, finance, money navigated questions.
Okay. We're
going to do it like newlyweds game style. So you each have a whiteboard in front of you.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you guys questions.
I also don't know the questions.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No, I'm not aware of them. So we're hiding our boards, cheating. Right?
You're hiding your boards from each other, and every question you're going to put your answer for yourself and then what you think the other person's answer is, and then we're going to compare. So we're going to see, because we know KB's the entrepreneur. She's the firecracker. Jay's the numbers guy. He's sitting in the office. He's pushing the pencil. He's pressing his glasses up next to his face. So we're going to see how the worlds collide here. We're going to keep it financial, career, money based. And then I got a bonus question at the end for both of you. Are you guys ready?
I'm scared.
Done. Let's go. Does a winner get anything? Is there a winner?
I mean, in the Tardik Bristowe household, pride is all I know.
Which is very important.
It's
true. Needed. So, all right, you guys ready?
Let's go. Fire away.
All right, first question. What is your credit score? And what do you think your partner's credit score is?
I'm pretty sure Jason just saw mine like 3 days ago.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Okay, 1.
All right, when you're ready.
Are we doing this at the same time?
Yeah, I think of the same time.
Okay, here we go.
I need to see a little bit.
I have my answer for me, 800-ish. For Kaitlyn, 713.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. I said 800 for you, but I said 785 for mine. Or 685.
I thought it was 7 something.
It could be. I don't remember.
All right. We'll get into the credit scores later, but not bad. Right?
Not bad.
All right.
That's a good start. We got one match.
All right. So we each get a point there?
Yeah.
I think you each get a point there.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's next?
Okay. Number 2. What is your worst paying job of all time that you've done in your life? So I need to know what the job was and roughly how much you were making. And then I want to know your best paying job of all time. And just to make Kaitlyn squirm, if you want to share numbers on that, feel free.
Okay.
Worst paying job of all time, best paying job of all time. Just to fill in the airwaves, mine would be McDonald's. 14 years old, lot and lobby, $6 minimum wage.
Oh, mine. I have a funny one and a bad one though. Okay.
Whatever the
pay?
So your worst paying job, what
okay.
you made, and then your best paying job and what you made.
David, you're gonna appreciate mine.
I love it.
And then my best paying?
Best paying job.
Yeah, your best paying job. So that could be one of your businesses. It could be an appearance that you did. It could be.
I don't like this.
you don't have to say that. This is why she's been avoiding the show for 100 episodes.
I don't want to say.
Just put it the best paying job. You don't have to put in the amount. How
best
about?
Paying job. Okay.
Don't got to show me your balance sheet. Don't got to show me your tax return for it. Just, of the things that you do, what is the most profitable?
Here we go.
Okay.
The facial reaction compared to the intro that she was showing during the intro is like completely night and day now. So that's what we're all about.
KB, go first to that camera.
Okay. I was a table setter at Smitty's restaurant for $8 an hour. And then my best paying job is probably my podcast.
There you go.
Okay. I love it.
All right.
Jason?
I was a dishwasher at Atlanta Bread Company making $7 an hour.
Cute.
And then I would say probably my best paying job, which will make Kaitlyn throw up, is influencing.
Yes.
There are many sources, but that's the best one.
Wait, you worked at Atlanta Bread Company?
ABC,
I didn't know
Atlanta
that.
Bread Company, crushed it. Me and Jay Christopher in the back.
Did you just always smell
awesome.
like fresh bread?
Yeah, I remember I got a $5 tip once, and it was the best day of my life.
I got a $5 tip once for go-go dancing, and I felt like a stripper, so I quit.
Oh, wow. Okay, we'll get into that too. All right.
It's a little manifesting there, Jay.
David,
ABC,
keep
Atlanta
it going.
Bread Company.
What else
ABC,
we got?
Atlanta Bread Company, ABC Bachelorette.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Shout out
Full
to
circle.
Smitty's and Rodney's Oyster House. Some of the best food that you can in Vancouver and the Sunshine Coast.
Wait,
all right, next
Smitty's?
one.
No. You're thinking the beautiful Smitty's on the island. No. This was Smitty's, like the Denny's. Smitty's.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's definitely a Denny's.
Yeah.
It's like a Denny's 2.0. Place looks great. It's
Yeah.
got character, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, what else we
Good
got?
to clear that up. All right. How much annually do you and your partner put into savings/retirement per year? So how much do
Together
you
or separately?
separate?
Oh, okay. Per year.
Oh, I know the answer.
Wait, I know the retirement. What was the first one?
Yeah, how much do you put in
Savings or
retirement?
retirement?
Oh, savings.
No, how much do you put in retirement, right?
A year.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much do you put in retirement a year for yourself? And then guess the other person.
Okay, or tell me when your answers are locked in.
And then yours.
I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, I actually. Why am I blanking on
Go
this?
first.
50K and 40K.
Okay.
So Jason puts in 50 and you put in 40. Is that your guess?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm close.
We both last year, I'm almost 100% sure, both put in 58K, the max you put in.
Okay, I couldn't remember
We
the
both
max
maxed
number.
out
I
our
remembered
set.
it
There
was
we go.
50 something.
All right. Not bad, though, Kate, for not a
Not
numbers.
bad.
Okay, what else,
You know
David?
what?
What's next?
I'm impressed. All right. I got to ask this because I've seen it on Jason's Instagram twice in the last week.
Oh, boy.
And I've been at your house in Nashville and I know about the influencer room where all the packages go to be opened or maybe die. I want an estimated guess just because I think it's interesting. How many packages for companies get delivered to the Kaitlyn Bristowe household, and then I want an estimated guess, and this is just a guess on retail dollar amount of packages that get sent to you from companies who want your love shout out
Per
sponsorship.
week?
My question was annually.
Annually.
It's a big ass number. If you could do week, if week's easier, but we're math guys here, so we could times it week by 52.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I just think it's
I
fascinating.
don't even
All right,
have a
gotta
clue.
do it. 5.
No. I don't even have it written. Okay, I'll do
Jason,
blank.
did you do annually or weekly?
Annually.
Okay, annually. How many packages?
What is annual? In a year.
It's annual. Okay, that's what I thought. I got scared. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Okay. Okay.
This is where Jason would say, "Stay tuned for the recap." We're already
Stay tuned
what
to the
does
recap.
annually mean?
David will come back and ask what annually means.
Okay, and okay.
All right, Jason, you go first.
900. I said we average on 75 per month, and that's the basis there.
900 packages total.
And how much revenue.
Yeah, how much retail?
Retail.
How much retail amount of product?
Oh, value?
Yeah.
If those 900 packages were sold retail, what do you think the value is on that?
I'm going to go 210K.
Oh, wow. Okay. I was close on the first one. I said 1,000.
Okay. We're really
I
close
said 1,000 and then I said 75K, but that's because I'm like, I was thinking maybe about how much they are spending. So I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
All
right. What else you got, David?
One thing I can tell you for sure, if you go to the Tardik Bristowe household for a weekend, you will always be hydrated because there is so many beverages in that garage for people sending it to you.
Voss water.
Voss, Alani, Prime. Yeah. Oh, yeah. What else?
All right.
And wine.
If you had to take over one of each other's businesses, what would it be?
So if I had to take over one of KB's businesses, what would it be? If you had to take over one of mine, what would it be?
Yeah. And I'd like you to put what you think the other person's going to guess for you to see if it aligns.
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
Tell me when you're locked in.
My protein looks like a 12-year-old boy. Okay.
Okay, I think I would take over Off the Vine. Massive community, extreme success, 140 million plus downloads, and there's huge upside. Like, wait till all the video gets implemented, maybe Spotify. I mean, call her daddy, watch out. The thing I think she would take over would be the agency.
Okay, I will say Jason will say the pod, and then I said I would take over his Instagram.
Oh, okay. All right. Don't dig into that one.
I would love to do an Instagram takeover, and I would be you.
Oh, wow. I think we're onto something. Maybe we'll do it when this comes out. All right, David, what else you got? How many more do we have?
We have a few more, so we're going to rip through them here. We don't have to use them all. We can. The beauty of podcasting, we can edit them out.
Yeah, exactly.
If you had to take one money habit from the other person and apply it to your own life, what would it be?
One money habit that Kaitlyn has I want to apply to my life.
Correct. What would it be?
Am I writing down what he would say about me?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
That's the only way we can see if we're matching.
Okay. You want me to go first?
KB's locked in first.
Hang on. Yeah, you can go first.
Okay. I would take over his investing skills, and he would want to take how frugal I am.
I love it. See,
don't change your answer now.
No, I'm doing exactly what I had.
Okay.
I thought Jay would be if I had to guess, I would expect Jay to be the frugal one between both of you.
We're both pretty frugal.
We're both pretty frugal. Yeah. We'll talk about that.
But I also will spend.
I would take over her earning power. And then I would take over. I think she would want to take investing. So we nailed that.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Next question. What is one thing that each of you spend money on that the other can't stand or can't believe that you actually spend money on this typical thing?
Got it. I already know.
That's a good one.
That is a good question.
And I got two more after this in this category.
So one thing you spend money on that you can't believe that you spend them.
What is one thing KB spends money on that you cannot believe that she actually spends money on it? And then what's one thing you spend money on where she's probably like, oh God.
Okay.
Oh, I know. I got changes real quick.
I don't like when you evil laugh like that.
This is the most I've ever seen him smile on the podcast before.
Because he knows he's like making me uncomfortable and it's making him happy.
He loves it.
Oh, God. All right. I even have a diagram.
Oh my God.
You go first.
Diagram. I can't believe how much money Jay spends on sports betting.
That's fair.
Or gambling.
That was good.
And
yeah, but it's not spending if you win, right, David?
You don't win all the time. That's math. Right? And then me, the car I just bought, or my skin.
Okay, you nailed it. I was going to say, okay, so I first had face. I had like face stuff, like anything, face serums, skin, Botox, facials. And then I think I changed it to private training. So that was it. Remember, I always bust your chops on how much it costs per session. But all those are investments into herself and her health.
You can never spend too much money on your health.
That's right.
I agree with that. Skin. What kind of car did you buy?
a custom built 69 Bronco.
Oh, we love that though.
What's the name of it?
I don't know yet. I kind of want to call it Poppy or Van Winkle because the color of it is ice blue and the interior is vanilla color. So vanilla ice, but his real last name is Poppy Van Winkle. And so that's it.
There you go. Yeah. David, any more that you want to get in this game before we wrap it up?
This is going to be really quick.
Okay.
Would you rather have everyone know the details of your finances or the details of your love life?
Oh.
Complete polar opposite answers here coming up.
Would I rather have detail? Go ahead. Go
I would rather have all of my love life details out there than
Shocker. I'd rather have all of our finance details out there.
Oh, yeah, but what if we weren't like, even if you weren't proud of it?
Oh, yeah. There's things I'm not proud of.
Okay.
Last one here. If all your businesses and all social media accounts disappeared tomorrow and you absolutely had to work, what quote unquote normal job would you get?
That's a really good question. Well, you already know. Mm-hmm. What normal job? I never want a normal job. What defines normal? I would.
Okay, I would pursue being a sports agent.
I would be a nanny.
A nanny.
I just want to be around babies.
You'd have Worth and Kat hire you as a nanny.
I would.
I like that one.
I would.
So
man.
That's the last question that I have in the Newlyweds game. We have 2 more questions, Jay, if you think we have time.
2 more questions. Let's do it, and we could always edit them out. 2 more questions from the Curious Canadian. What do you got?
All right, MFK. We all know the game. If you don't know it, hit the Google machine, find out what it means. Okay.
Okay.
Kaitlyn, for you, MFK, Off the Vine, Do Edit, or Spade and Sparrows?
I hate it. Asking me to kill my children.
Wow.
And Jason, for you, Restart Roadmap, Trading Secrets, Rewire Talent Agency. So people at home, MFK, you got to pick one to do for the rest of your life. One of them you never do again, and one of them you can only do one time. That's how we're going to say it for the PG folks at home.
I like that.
I say make love, fornicate, and murder.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I'll go first. I will make love to Rewired. I will fornicate to Trading Secrets, and I will murder the Restart Roadmap.
Okay.
Okay. I said I will marry my podcast. I will fuck the shit out of Spade and Sparrows, and I will kill Do Edit because scrunchies are a trend and they can only stay around for so long.
Oh,
look at that.
That's a business leader right there.
It's a business leader right there. All right. This one
last but not least, the last question of what do you call this game? ATM?
Newlywed.
Yeah. The Ask the Mafia. Money
God.
Mafia at home.
You said
Go Bills.
I heard Asta, and I didn't know what the last thing was going to be.
This is more for Kaitlyn, but Jay, I want you to write down what you think she's going to write. MFK, Jason with long hair.
Oh boy.
Jason with short hair, or Jason with facial hair.
He's getting off the career in finance and going into the personal look. Okay, I think I know.
Okay. What do you think I said?
I think you said you would kill Jason with long hair, you would marry Jason with short hair, and you would fuck Jason with facial hair.
That's close, and I don't disagree with it. But I said marry facial hair.
Oh, okay.
Short hair and kill long hair.
Okay, there you go. All right.
And then I got one more question. This is my bonus question.
Okay.
I can't not ask it with another Canadian in our presence at the podcast.
Okay.
I want you guys to list out your 5 favorite Canadians. So of the celebrities out there, and this is a little test for Jason.
I can't put Kaitlyn, right?
Or me. Can't put either of
you guys. Okay.
Okay. Top 5 Canadians of the celebrity variety who you just are so proud to call them Canadian. Because there's a lot of dark horse Canadians in there. My job in this game will be whatever isn't mentioned that I want to give a shout out to from the land of the North. They will get a shout out.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. Your 5 favorite Canadians. Kaitlyn Bristowe.
Bieber, Celine Dion, Ryan Gosling, Ryan Reynolds, and Michael Myers.
Wow,
it's an elite
list is fire.
It's an elite
And it
list.
was a tie for Michael Myers and Dana Carvey.
Oh my God.
No.
Damn. All right. I went
Nasty.
Biz Nasty.
Oh, Jim Carrey would be on
Jim
there.
Carrey, Brett Kissel, come on now, Wayne Gretzky, and Justin Bieber.
That's a
the
good
one and
list. Biz Nasty makes me LOL. Jim Carrey should have been on mine.
Yeah, I mean, we
Love
know,
Brett.
Yeah.
Wayner.
Jim Carrey's
Beauty.
unreal.
Justin Biebs.
Notable omissions.
Yes.
Drake
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
and Rachel McAdams. Just
Oh,
gotta put that
yeah,
one
yeah,
out there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Ah,
fair.
you're right.
That's
okay.
fair.
Also, Avril Lavigne.
Well, David, Curious Canadian, ATM, great Avril Lavigne. I love that. Thanks for coming on. We'll see you back at the recap and great questions. Kaitlyn, you got anything
That
for
was
David?
so fun. No, thank you, my fellow Canadian. That was a good time.
It was a great way
You're
to
just
warm
lubing
KB up.
me up.
Just lubing her up,
Lubing
getting
me
her
up
all
for the
fired
tough
up.
questions.
Now she's wet. She's seen David.
I'm
She's
not
good.
wet anymore. I'm getting dry.
Okay. All the numbers are done.
Kaitlyn, thank you for coming on. We'll see you at 200. Really excited to hear the rest of the episode. And Jason, I'll see you in the recap.
See you in the recap.
Bye.
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 All right. What was your favorite question in there?
My short-term memory is very questionable.
Okay. What made you feel most uncomfortable? David just asked.
Well,
you.
we already know the answer to that.
What was it?
Best paying job.
I love that. Why is it? And we're going to get into all the areas of Kaitlyn Bristowe here. We're going to start with the life leading up to the Bachelorette. But why is it that talking about money makes you so squirmish? Like, why does that feel
Why
like
does talking about sex life make you squirm?
that? Because I rarely do it publicly. I guess I don't know. I just
Have sex?
No, I rarely like. It's like something I've
Yeah,
never
but
talked
talking
about.
about money and
It's comfortable to me.
it's comfortable
because I've
to
always
you.
done it.
You've always done it.
Yeah, and
To
you
me-
because do you think you just have never like with your parents and stuff growing up? Did you ever?
No, we always talked about money.
Huh.
Not like, I mean, yeah, we talked about, it was never like a taboo topic, but for me, I have no problem being self-deprecating and talk about how little I made back in my day. But for some reason, I feel, I don't know, almost like a little bit of guilt because I'm like, man, there's so many like talented, hardworking people out there and doctors. And I'm sitting over here like talking about like, well, and I got this for an Instagram post. Like I feel
Yeah.
stupid almost.
But I also think I think part of the conversation is it opens up industries that people don't know about.
Sure, but then it might make kids just want to be Instagram famous and, you know.
Okay, let me ask you the opposite of it, and then we're going to get into life before the Bachelorette. If there were other, let's say, leads, Bachelor leads or Bachelorette leads that were sharing some of their numbers, and would that make you feel more comfortable?
No, I don't mind if other people talk about it.
Okay.
It's not like I'm like, oh, shame on them for talking about it.
Yeah.
I understand. I think it's great that people talk about it. Me personally, I get like, and not a lot makes me uncomfortable.
Not much.
That just makes me, I feel silly. I feel like I shouldn't talk about it. I feel like it's private. I feel like and then I'm like, what if someone comes and robs me now?
It's all digital. But all right, there you go.
I don't know.
Well, we're starting to get you warmed up to it. You are uncomfortable. Not many people hear Kaitlyn
My hands
Bristowe
are clammy.
in an uncomfortable interview. And I'll tell you this, I have done, I don't know, hundreds probably of interviews with you or watched you do them. And I have never, ever seen you bring notes. Kaitlyn Bristowe, I don't think if Kaitlyn had an open notebook test in high school, there is no way she brought notes. But here she is on Trading Secrets and she's got notes.
I do.
That said, it's a great transition. Let's get into it. So life leading up to the Bachelorette. I know you've talked about it in full, but with less than 10 years, you go from couch, like surfing almost, right? Like living in your parents' basement.
Basement sounds so dark.
But wasn't it?
I wasn't living in their basement.
I thought you
like
were.
some little fucking troll.
I thought that was like your thing. You were living in their basement couch. Were you or were you not?
No, I was living in their house that didn't have a basement.
For some reason in my head, I thought when you told me this story, it was always their basement.
This sounds also like that's what I used to say about like trolls on the internet who like I'd be like they live in their mom's basement and have never seen a live pair of tits in their life. Now that's my picture.
Okay, but you did couch surf on your buddies. Like apartment for a while, right?
And friends, yeah.
And I think the takeaway for that is not to like dwell on the basement or the guest room or the couch surfing, but it's like you were at this like low. This was within 10 years, you go from this like low. The lowest. You had mentioned that like at times you were a bit abusing painkillers to suppress some of your depression. And then within this time period, you go from, one of the most successful, if not the most successful person that has ever used Bachelor as a launch pad to success, which is just a wild change of pace in a short period of time. I want to relate it back to people listening. What advice do you have for someone that feels like they have to dig themselves out? You dug yourself out and put yourself in a position people can only dream of. What advice do you have for those that are stuck and that are in that digging phase?
Well, I think giving yourself grace in that rock bottom area that you might be in, and say like, you can only go up from there. Allow yourself to live in your parents' space if you need to. Cry, be depressed, and get help. I think that was like the biggest pivotal moment for me from the couch and being depressed to actually doing something was therapy, because it taught me something I never knew, and that's that I didn't have very good coping skills from growing up. And so learning about how to cope through therapy got me to propel forward in just getting myself off the couch. And I think a lot of people think you have to do big steps to get somewhere when you're depressed, but baby steps are the way to go. Take baby steps, get out, do a walk around the block, do something each day that makes you move and get out of that funk. And for me personally, it was therapy. I think that was a really big takeaway for me, was getting help.
And I think what's interesting is when you learn those coping skills personally to like get yourself going, the impact that has on professional success.
Well, I was empowered by it. I was empowered by doing things for myself instead of like, running back to my mom or getting help from my dad financially, or like I was always relying on other people, and therapy taught me to do it myself and feel empowered by that.
Okay. Because when you came back and you're in this state, it was after you had a breakup and you were dating, he was a pro European hockey player, right? So at that time, professionally, were you working or just living off his salary?
Oh yeah, no. Well, what I did was I hated I was just as uncomfortable then as I am now talking about money, going to Germany to financially rely on him. So I worked 2 jobs for 3 months to save up money to go, so I didn't completely have to live off of him. Okay. But that didn't last as long as I thought it would. And then I was emotionally and financially relying on him, and that's not a way to live. I had no job. I couldn't work in Germany. How do you get a job when you can't speak the language? I had no friends. I had like a little bit of money in my bank account, and I had no education.
There are people that are probably listening to this that might be in similar situations where their significant other is making more than them. And that is a point of leverage in other areas of the relationship. When you were in that relationship at that time, did you feel like money and what you're doing professionally was levered against you?
It was definitely an uncomfortable conversation because all the other girlfriends and wives, their partner had given them their own debit or credit card to use in case they needed it or for groceries or whatever. I didn't. And that conversation seemed to make him uncomfortable. And so I always had to like ask for money to go get groceries, which is like awful, an awful feeling. And I just remember being like, I don't know why he won't give me a debit card or like something to help. Like, I'm not a big spender. You know that. Yeah. I wouldn't go blow all this money on like shopping and doing all these things that when I would be like doing it to get groceries and probably a lot of wine. So it was, definitely uncomfortable. But here's the thing, and I don't want to call him out. Not that he would listen to this. Maybe he would. He's a big finance guy.
There you go.
You should have him on. Just kidding. The thing is with him, I think he was really mad at himself because he played pro hockey in the NHL level and was making incredible money and had to take like the biggest pay cut to then go and like feel like he didn't make it as a hockey, superstar. And I think like maybe money was an uncomfortable subject to him.
Got it. And
I don't know.
I think for anyone that's listening that's either new to the show or not, the whole purpose of this is to understand those experiences and the lessons you learned and then like pay those lessons forward, because if someone's learning from what you had gone through, maybe they can prevent something. So the two things I'm interested in is do you have any advice for anyone out there that does feel like they're in a situation, their partner makes more, as a result of their partner making more, they feel that is levered in other areas of the relationship that has nothing to do with it?
Do I think that's...
No, what advice would you have?
I mean, I think all of it comes down to a transparent conversation, and even just being able to admit, hey, this makes me feel less than, like, how can we work something out? And why do I always want to say therapy? Like, get a therapist. Yeah. But I feel like there are like marriage and relationship counselors that talk about that kind of thing to bring in a third party that could help you kind of navigate that. Okay.
The second question I have about that situation is, do you think still to this day, the way you're so motivated, you're so independently driven, in none of your shows do you have a co-host, in none of your business do you have anyone else that has to do with, other talent? There's been opportunities where like you and I have like, it's been extremely early, like even like potentially couple shows where you're like, no, I have my thing, I have my brand. Do you think that independent fire is somewhat connected to that feeling that you experienced?
1,000%.
Interesting.
That without a doubt. I think I never, first of all, I don't want to throw my parents under the bus for this. I think a lot of parents just were like, they learn what they need to learn in school. But our parents, they didn't really ever have to worry about money, but they didn't teach us about, like credit scores and getting a credit card and paying for our own things. Like we were a little bit spoiled. So that combined with the relationship question, I think is where that all stemmed from. But like, I remember my ex taking me to go get a credit card of my own in Canada. And the bank was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. You do not have any credit. Well, but what?
I think it's interesting because I think people are going to see the game we played earlier.
Yeah.
And people that are, pretty proficient with credit are going to see Kaitlyn Bristowe. You thought you had a 685. I thought when we pulled it, when we were doing some joint work
maybe
together,
the 685 was the first one. And remember, it got better?
Yeah, and I think it was 713. But I think my point is that people know how successful you are and then you make a ton of money. They're probably going to be surprised to see a 685 credit score. So was there a point that your credit score...
Was that bad?
Yeah. Well,
what?
No. Let me put this out there. It's like a fair, like a red, yellow, green, 685-ish would be more of a yellow. Oh. Okay.
See, my competitive, I just got fired up. I'm like, I need to be green.
Yeah. And we'll talk more about in the recap how to improve your credit score, what the red, yellow, green are. We'll do that with the Curious Game. But my point is was there ever a point where your credit score, like, did you learn how to manage credit cards?
No.
Were you not paying your bills? Like, what happened that your credit score is lower than that?
I had my credit card bills in like my dad's name.
Okay.
I just, because I wanted to make it as a dancer, which I know we'll talk about, I didn't go to college. I didn't know anything about credit scores. I didn't know anything about credit. I didn't know things. I just floated through life and I was the happiest. Like, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to pay him rent at the end of this month, but I'll figure it out. Like, nothing fazed me with money. And now that I have money, it phases me a lot and I think about everything. But yeah, I want to go back to your first question because you had said something about, do you think why I'm so motivated and to have my own thing and be so independent stemmed from that? I think my whole life, I didn't really realize how strong I was of a human being, of like, because I always relied on other people. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I probably just don't have it in me. And that hitting rock bottom with that relationship, which made me start working on myself, which made me have to build myself back up with nobody else to get a job that I didn't want to get as a hostess, work my way up in a restaurant. I just was like building myself up and I saw that hustle in me to like not be at my lowest low. And I was like, whoa, I could do anything. And then when I had that confidence is when The Bachelor came. And I was like, oh my gosh, if you work on yourself and you do everything that like makes you feel empowered and good and learn about yourself, the right opportunities will come to you.
Yeah.
Not that it doesn't take hard work, but.
Totally. Okay. So everything you just said, I was very enthralled with. And then at the last second, you opened your hand and started talking with your hand.
Stop!
And I called, wait a second.
Leave me alone.
What is written on your hand?
Nothing.
Show the camera.
No, I'm not showing
Show them what
them.
I'm looking at.
Well, you can't really see, but.
What?
No.
is it?
Notes.
Notes on what?
Don't you ever write notes on your hand in case you forget? So you could be like subtle and be like,
That's amazing. Can you tell me what they say?
No.
Do we know what they're about? At any point during this interview, will you tell me what those notes say?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't wait. When you do, please do. All right.
No,
well,
I
think everything, whether it's trauma, it's experience, it's good, it's bad, it dictates, it shapes you. Obviously, it shaped you, and you've used that and channeled it into a direction that has created unbelievable things.
Now it might be a little bit unhealthy where I'm like, I need to do this myself.
Yeah. No, I get that. And I'll never forget when you, me, and Hawk were sitting down at the Chinese restaurant, and he says to you guys, he looks back, Hawk's one of my best buddies, and he just has very good balanced perspective. He's like, listen, you guys are both doing great. You're doing great in your own worlds. But could you imagine if you guys actually came together and did stuff together? Like, it would be 2-3x maybe. And you're like, nope, not doing it. I'm out.
Well,
which I respect though, because there's good and bad with everything. Like even if there's a decision where you and I did partner on stuff, there could be a lot of bad with that too. Obviously there's upside as well.
I think I'm a little jaded from my last relationship.
Okay.
I was like, I'm being used. Not that I ever think you would use me, but I think I'm just jaded. And I also am just like, I'm so set on doing things on my own and having my own empire that it's not that I don't want to do anything with you. It's that we both just like work so hard at our own thing. We need to come together personally, not professionally.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
But I do think that has instilled a part of you where even professionally, yes, you want to come together personally, all be aligned, but even professionally, still then you wouldn't have an interest in that.
Well, I don't know. Maybe if we're like fully married and there's that commitment there, I think then maybe.
Yeah. I love
But don't you feel the same way, or do you not?
No, I think that you can. No, I don't think you have to be married to like do joint ventures together.
No, I don't think you have to. That's just where I'm at.
Yeah.
Not anyone else. Like that's just how I feel.
I thought maybe you agreed. I think there's I don't know. No, I don't think so. Okay. I think it would be the businesses would be in a better position if it was done after like there was that legal like marriage and everything else, but I don't think you have to be. Yeah. But the funny thing is I want to only focus on Life Bachelorette, and now we're moving in all different directions. But no, I like it though. That's where the conversation's going. And when you say stuff, I can't pass by, but you did mention used. Professionally, I just want to talk about career.
You're trying to get headlines right now.
No, you said it. You said it, not me. I didn't say it. What, for you to say that, there must have been something professionally that you felt was being taken advantage of. Is that a concern of yours? What was it?
Well, let me just start by saying this is all just from my point of view and from how I felt and things that I saw. It doesn't mean they're right or wrong.
Yeah.
But would you or would you not agree that when couples come off the show, whether it was a bachelor and the woman he picked or a bachelorette and the guy she picked, that is a really hard foundation to start on and a struggle with,
I think
like a power struggle.
I think it is especially in all dimensions, personally, professionally, and financially, it is close to impossible.
Yeah. And so I think men sometimes get emasculated
100%
by the bachelorette coming off, and all these opportunities are like, we want Kaitlyn there, and like, oh, well, Sean can come too, or like maybe not, maybe it's just Kaitlyn, or it's the two of us together, but like it was always if I was there, then he was invited. And I think that on top of already feeling emasculated on the show where you're not the one and there's other relationships building and you thought it was you the whole time and then you realize it wasn't, like how does a relationship even work after that? I don't know. It's hard. But it was like getting down to the end where we both just didn't see it going anywhere, but it felt like he was hanging on until his gym opened. And that's where I felt used.
Professionally. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me also reverse the roles here just for fun. Professionally, do you feel as though you would feel insecure, or I don't know what the word wouldn't be emasculated, but would you feel back to the Kaitlyn Bristowe days of being in Europe if your partner was receiving all that attention and you weren't? If the roles were reversed, whether it was your
sure.
last relationship, whether it was obviously the Europe situation, does that bring you back to that place?
Not that place, but because I've worked on myself. But yeah, I would definitely have feelings of like doubt or not worthy or feeling less than. Yeah.
Okay. Let's bring it full circle back to something people can take away. If you are at home and you do feel less, whether it has to do with your pride, because of your success, because of the money you make, maybe because of how well known you're in the community, whatever it might be, what is your advice? Because you've been on both sides of it.
Inner child work.
Seriously?
Yes.
You think the inner child work?
Your inner child runs the show and you don't even realize it. It's all behaviors you have learned for years and years and years that you are bringing into your adult life that you have not solved or healed. And what you don't heal will be revealed, and it's just will be an ongoing cycle unless you do the work. I truly believe that.
Okay, that it is. Inner child work therapy. We've talked about a lot of moving parts here, and we haven't even gotten to the good stuff. Let me do a little bit of a rapid fire. Best show you had before the job, and what did it pay?
Best show?
Oh my God. Best job you had before you went on The Bachelor, and what did it pay?
Well, it was working in the restaurant industry because I was working my way up and I'd also get tipped out. So it was, gosh, in Edmonton at that time, it was like $18 an hour plus tips.
Okay. So on an annual basis, what do you think you're making in a job like that?
Idea. I still got so much money back in tax season. I just thought that was a win. If the credit card was like kind of an issue, then who did your taxes at this point? My dad.
Your dad did.
Well, my dad had a person.
Okay. And so he did it.
Yeah.
All right. Before we go on to the next step, the credit card issue, you said you went to the bank. That was the eye-opening instance. You didn't get approved.
I bawled my eyes
Why
out.
Didn't you get approved?
What do you mean? Because I had no bills in my name. I'm so insecure opening my hand now. I had no bills in my name. The apartment I was renting, I did not make, on paper, not any money.
Okay.
At that point, under $20,000 a year.
Okay, got it. And you started crying when you got declined?
Yeah. I was like, I am a piece of shit.
And at what point from there did you get approved for a card?
I was 31.
Okay, there we go. All right. I love the open and honesty. It's amazing. That's why you are just so loved and adored. Finish this statement for me. If it wasn't The Bachelor that launched my big career change, it would have likely been
TikTok.
Interesting. But that would have taken like 10 years. You went on the show at 29.
That's true.
Right?
Okay, but what do I think would have launched my career? I don't know. I've always had this vision of building a community, and I didn't know what that was going to look like or how I was going to do it, but I wanted to build a community that like trusted me and that I made them laugh. And I thought I was going to be like a radio host.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So it would have been something in entertainment.
Yeah.
Something in either maybe I think stand-up comedy.
Would you
ever pursue stand-up comedy as a career?
Now?
Yeah. Like we just saw Hannah Burner crush it.
Yeah, that's hard.
But you never in your life would you do it?
I could totally do the crowd work she was doing.
Yeah.
But I respect the hell out of stand-up comedians. That's got to be really hard. I'm funny. I don't know if I'm that funny.
I think you could
I'm quick, I'm witty, but I don't know. They're like on another level.
Okay. I love it.
Well, Katie Thurston's doing comedy and she's freaking killing it too.
She's killing it.
Yeah.
All right. It could be in KB's calling. All right. KB 2023 versus KB 2013. Other than the fame and success, I want one thing. What is the biggest difference between those two KBs professionally? The biggest difference. Interesting.
No, I had a lot of confidence because I wasn't working.
You were the most, people say like the girls that you were on the season with, when I talked to them when we were at dinner and stuff like that, they say that you were so confident they were terrified of you. Like Ashley, I was like, her confidence, I was terrified. I was terrified.
I was.
And like you thought
so
you were going to win.
confident.
You thought like I was the least. When I walked that show, I'm like, I had imposter syndrome. There's no, like all the stuff from my work life was bleeding into the Bachelor life. There's no way I win. I know I'm going home. When am I going home? You are so confident. So you think you're more confident now than you were then?
No,
Okay.
I actually don't.
So you take it back?
I was the most, no, I was confused on the years. Did you say 20?
So today, 2023 versus 2013, 2014, 2015, pre-show
Okay,
Kaitlyn.
okay.
Professionally, the biggest difference between those two KBs.
Professionally. Just like more knowledge. I feel like I'm just more confident with like knowledge of business. Like I knew nothing about business.
Let me ask you this. Could you network then the way you can network today? Because
Yes,
I think
but
you're an unbelievable networker.
I didn't realize I was networking back then though. That was just me. I was a social butterfly and I could talk to anybody about anything. And I didn't even realize that could be networking. I always thought networking was, like going to find the guy who's the billionaire, runs this place, and like proving yourself to him. But I think networking can be so much more than that. And I could have, but I would be better at that now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Transitioning, before we transition actually to the ABC days, I want to touch on dancing a little bit. Was there ever a point in your dancing career where you had thought, this is 100% going to be the rest of my life? I will be a professional dancer. What was that moment?
There was a huge competition that was a weekend-long competition in Edmonton, and all of the best, I'll never forget, Shelley's dance studio. Had the best dancers in Edmonton, Sandra Gray's studio, and then my little dance studio in Leduc. And we had to compete, and I was always so freaked out to compete against all these girls because I thought they were better than me. And I remember I always wanted to I was so rebellious at certain points to my mom.
Okay.
To the point where she was so on top of me about my teeth and brushing my teeth that I have a vision of her running through a park with curlers in her hair and a robe on, yelling at me that I forgot to brush my teeth.
Okay.
And I was 5. And wait, now I forgot my story. Teeth. Oh, dancing. Okay. So I used to brush the counter of the bathroom with the door shut because I knew she was listening to see if I was brushing my teeth, and I'd rebel and brush the countertop just to make the noise, be like, I'm not going to brush my teeth.
Okay.
You're like, this adds up.
This checks. I get it. I'm just taking it all in.
But with dancing, my mom was a professional ballerina. It was in her blood. She had danced her whole life, and she always wanted me to just let go and just do the best that I could. And she always thought I was holding back. And I swear I would hold back just to rebel. And this one time in this competition, I was like, I'm just going to freaking go for it. There may or may not have been a cute boy in the audience that I was like, I'm going to impress him. Okay. But I was like, I'm just going to do this the best I could. And I ended up getting picked out of the whole weekend of the competition, out of hundreds and hundreds of girls, to get a scholarship to go dance with a company in Vancouver because I was the most standout dancer they had seen that weekend. And I was like, oh my gosh. This is it. This is my launch pad. I'm going to Vancouver, going to the big city, because that was big to me compared to Leduc, Alberta.
Sure.
And so I got there, and it was literally the first day that I danced with that company that I was like, oh shit, everyone's better than me. But that was the moment I thought, this is what I'm going to do forever, is when I got that scholarship.
Got it. And you transitioned then from dance to going into the restaurant business, right?
Well, I was working in the restaurant business to be able to get the flexible hours to be able to still dance, because I couldn't get a normal job 9 to 5. Well, 1, because I didn't have the education, but 2, because I needed to be at the dance studio as much as I could. Okay.
And what year was it that you knew that dancing was not in your future?
Well, okay, let's do the math here.
How old were you?
I was 25.
25.
Yeah.
Okay. And the transition from there was what?
Well, I was a Canadian. I thought I was about to live my dream and go marry a hockey player and never have to work again. I was like, I'll dance on the side for fun. And then it was within a year that I realized I didn't just stop dancing. I stopped doing my passion. I stopped doing what I love to do. And I wasn't good enough.
Well, that was a transition that led to ABC. Full-time ABC. You were a server. Okay. 29 years old. I have a picture here I got to show. This came from an executive producer on the show.
What?
This was your headshot. It was Kaitlyn Bristowe, Vancouver, BC server, 29 years old. 29 years old, KB as a server.
Do you know that was
taking a step into ABC?
Do you know that was 8 years ago, almost to the day?
Really?
Almost to the day.
8 years ago to the day. Well, he sent me this. And so this came from Bennett.
Oh, amazing.
Okay. It was the first time he's been in the NZK office in 3 years. And this was the first thing he saw. So you were a server before you went on the show, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I was a server and a spin instructor.
Okay. And so when you left, was there any issues when you told them you were going on the show? Did you get fired? Did they tell you come back whenever? What was the process of leaving for the show?
Yeah. I mean, because it is such a job where, you know, you can be replaced very easily. And it's not like I could have gone and embarrassed myself and then brought more people into the restaurant when I came back. It's not like I was in corporate America where they would be like, I don't want that guy investing my money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, they were very much, everyone was like, of course you're doing this.
Yeah.
Like, you've been like waiting your whole life to do something like this.
So no one told you like professionally not to go on the show?
Penny.
She told you not to go on the show.
Yes.
And Penny, for anyone that doesn't know, is a massively successful talent agent for the most powerful people in the world. Yeah. And why did she tell you not to go on the show?
And she was, at the time, I think she was working for Scooter Braun.
Okay.
And so she gets the entertainment industry, but she was like, do you really want to go on season 19 of The Bachelor? Like, that show is going down. And she wasn't wrong. Like, at the time, it wasn't, you know, what it was or what it is or what it was about to be. And I was like, yeah, I do.
Did you have any financial obligations that you had to continue to pay when you went on the show? Did you have rent you had to pay, a car payment, anything like that? So you had no rent, no car payment.
I went into debt from buying clothes for the show.
So I was going to ask you, what do you think your net worth was before you were on the show?
$2.
Maybe -2?
Yeah.
Why did you go into debt to go on the show? What did you?
It was an investment, Jason.
So that's a good point. It paid a return. Yeah. That's the best investment. I have a question. What's the best investment you ever made? Clearly, that's it. How much did you spend to go on the show?
Oh gosh, ask my mom. She helped me. I spent probably $2,000
in buying what? Dresses and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clothes, bras, underwear, swimsuits, hair extensions, makeup. Yeah.
Got it. All right. So you go on the show. You come in third place. Don't care about the Bachelor stuff.
Still on the podium.
That's not what we're here to talk about. What I'm here to talk about is you get out of that show. How did you transition back to your career? Did you start working again as a server?
Actually, this doesn't add up with what I said earlier, because I went back to the restaurant thinking they're going to take me in a second. Do you know how many people I'll bring into the restaurant? And they were like, well, are you going to be the next Bachelorette? And I was like, I'm not sure yet. And they're like, well, we can't hire you just for a couple months. They like to see people grow in that restaurant, which I actually really love about that company, Cactus Club. They're really passionate about people working their way up and being like, you know, invested in the company.
Yeah.
And I couldn't say if I was going to be there they could have trained me and got me in, and then I would have been like, bye. So they didn't want to take that chance, I guess.
So when you get off the show, you come in third, heart's broken, you're back home, no more crystals. Crystals. I think he's like, when the time we hung out with him, I had so much fun, but you don't have crystals. So you didn't work again until you were the Bachelorette.
Right.
So you didn't earn one penny in any type of job.
Well, they paid me.
Who paid you?
ABC.
Paid you what?
A whopping $1,500.
For what?
Just because I didn't have a job, and I was like, you guys are making me wait around to see if I'm the Bachelorette and I can't work.
Got it.
So they gave me $1,500.
So you had $1,500 over. What time frame is this from the Bachelor ending to them becoming the Bachelorette?
That was like filming ending or the show airing.
So filming ends for the Bachelor, right? Yeah. And this is around what month? Okay, it ends.
Sorry, November, end of November.
It ends November. It airs in January, right? Okay, so
last
at what point do you start getting called to possibly be the Bachelor?
Like end of March, beginning of April.
Okay, so what I'm trying to do is career timeline here. So you have 4 months of essentially no work whatsoever, right? Mm-hmm. And the show hasn't aired. Did you monetize it all off social media in that 4 months?
No.
So the only thing you have to your name is the $1,500 check that ABC is giving you to float you through this period.
Yes.
Okay. And you weren't, no work at all. At what point, I'm just like trying to figure it out. At what point did you find out you'll be the Bachelorette?
Like honestly, a week before it started filming.
Which was when? May?
No, wait, May. My timeline's not adding up here. They started talking to me about being the Bachelorette in the beginning of March, and I think I was the Bachelorette by the end of March.
Okay, by the end of March. Yeah. Mm-hmm. When we filmed Bachelorette, we started filming mid-March.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's about a 5-6 month window of you just kind of like waiting around. Mm-hmm. You have $1,500 to float you.
Which honestly, it was probably the most money I ever had in my bank account. I was like, shit. Yes.
Did you live anywhere that you had to pay rent or anything like that? Or did you just stay at home? until for that time period?
No, I lived with Carson.
Okay. Love that.
Yeah, on like a blow-up mattress.
Okay. And while you're in that period, does that KB at all? Are you forward thinking like, what will my career be in 2, 3, 4 years from now? Are you just
I started making a vision board.
Okay. And so what did that vision board look like before you were the Bachelorette?
Well, it was me being the Bachelorette. That was the only thing on my vision board, and I was set on it. I was like, I will be the Bachelorette. I had it. It was a whiteboard, and I wrote down like, I'm so happy now that I'm the Bachelorette, and I looked at it every day.
Okay. I love it. All right. So it all comes in. There's something about this that I need to take away and all of us at home need to implement. I don't know what it's going to be, but there's going to be a lot of it. Now I want to ask you this, negotiations.
Yeah.
Now more than ever, when females are negotiating, it's always been, if you look at like historically, there's been a wage gap. That wage gap is starting to get real tight. And in some areas, when you do analytics of like certain age, like single women at a certain age versus men that are single at that time, women are now making more. So it's not only is it tightening, it's starting to flip. Did you negotiate at all to be the Bachelorette, or did you just say, give me the deal? I have $1,500 in my account. I had a $2 net worth before
You would think, because I think they offered me